Chavismo is in a total panic, surrendered, defeated. I can guarantee you that these people are not going to fight, because doing so would mean the end of everything for them. Look, Donald Trump, we are ready for a second wave of attacks in Venezuela if necessary. Donald Trump stated, if Delcy Rodríguez doesn't do the right thing, she'll pay a very high price, likely higher than Maduro. That's correct. Many Venezuelans are very worried, as it's true Nicolas Maduro was captured. However, the rest of the people within Chavismo remain in Venezuela, they remain in charge, and many people are asking why. The answer is simpler than it seems because it involves taking down Diosdado Cabello, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, and Delcy Rodríguez. Could have unleashed even greater chaos because the power vacuum would have been much larger and the lack of control would have been total. The United States has made this mistake before. They know from experience that even if they dislike these criminals or delinquents, the easiest route or way for a transition to democracy in Venezuela is to negotiate with them. Many of you may wonder if the Chavistas are willing to negotiate with Donald Trump. Yes, they are. Chavismo is clearly surrendering. Delcy Rodríguez just said they're open to cooperating with the United States. Watch for developments in the next few hours. I think there's no turning back now they're forced to leave. Follow the movements of Diosdado Cabello because he's been left alone. We're going to talk more about Diosdado Cabello in a moment. But I want to focus on this, on the fact that obviously they are forced to cooperate because they ended up looking ridiculous. They once claimed Venezuela would be the new Vietnam, saying the United States couldn't handle them. Just look at what Diosdado Cabello said back then.
It will probably be easy to get in. The problem will be getting out. Don't say we're not warning you. Don't say that this isn't a war like this. No. There are no rules here. There are no rules. Once someone sets foot in Venezuela, there are no rules, and our people have the awareness to keep moving forward. And we know that we are right.
Well, it turns out they weren't right because the gringos came, walked around, captured Nicolas Maduro, left, and these guys didn't even notice. In fact, they were totally panicked, they ran away terrified, and they didn't even put up a fight. Just so you get an idea, Nicolas Maduro had 32 Cuban bodyguards, highly trained and skilled, protecting him. Well, it turns out that all of them were taken out and they couldn't take down a single American soldier. Just imagine the brutal and abysmal difference. So, for Chavismo, trying to fight and go up against the United States would be their end. It's that simple. It would be their final sentence. And Donald Trump knows it. That's why he said, if Delcy Rodríguez doesn't do the right thing, she'll pay a very high price, likely higher than Maduro. In short, Delcy Rodríguez only has two options, silver or lead. There's no third way. That's why the following happened. Urgent, Delcy Rodríguez. Venezuela extends an invitation to the United States to work on a cooperation agenda. Message she posted on her official Instagram. Let's examine it closely, as it's quite peculiar. Also, check her Instagram. Delcy Rodríguez changed her social media bio in less than 24 hours. The love for Maduro lasted only a few minutes. She is already the president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. It didn't last at all, seriously, but anyway, here she says, message from Venezuela to the world and to the United States. Venezuela reaffirms its commitment to peace and peaceful coexistence. Our country seeks to live free from external threats, with respect and international cooperation. We believe that global peace is built by first guaranteeing the peace of each nation. By the way, before I continue, I want to mention something. There are many people who think that Delcy Rodríguez will stay. No. Delcy Rodríguez is simply going to lead a transition toward democracy. It's that simple and straightforward. Delcy is not going to stay. And later on, I'm going to show you more or less what's basically planned, which is to give them a life in exile. It's to guarantee the Chavistas can live outside Venezuela forever, but never return. We'll see, but this is what they're saying. We prioritize building a balanced, respectful relationship between the United States and Venezuela, and between Venezuela and the countries of the region based on sovereign equality and non-interference. These principles guide our diplomacy with the rest of the countries in the world. We extend an invitation to the government of the United States to work together on a cooperation agenda aimed at shared development within the framework of international legality and strengthen a lasting community coexistence. President Donald Trump, our peoples and our region deserve peace and dialogue, not war. Delcy, Donald Trump offered them peace several times and asked them to leave peacefully. He told Nicolas Maduro, please leave or I'll come for you. He spent 6 months insisting, but Nicolas Maduro wouldn't leave and just kept dancing. We're releasing a video about it soon. Because after seeing Nicolas Maduro dancing and making jokes, the United States government realized that Nicolas Maduro was making fun of them. He was trying to be clever, and that's exactly why they decided to go after him. No, simply epic. But anyway, he continues telling us, that has always been President Nicolas Maduro's predicament. A criminal, by the way. And it's the predicament of all Venezuela right now. That's the Venezuela I believe in. The one I've dedicated my life to. If you're a drug trafficker, Delcy Rodríguez, you don't deserve peace. You deserve the same fate as Nicolas Maduro. That's reality. They're giving you an opportunity simply to speed up the transition, to make everything easier so chaos doesn't break out inside Venezuela. But that's the only reason. But the reality, Delcy, is that if you were judged, you'd probably spend the rest of your life behind bars. That's the reality. But anyway, they're telling us that's the Venezuela I believe in, etc. My dream is for Venezuela to be a great power where all good Venezuelan men and women can come together. Well, I hope they never get to set foot in Venezuela again. None of these Chavistas, seriously. And yes, Venezuela was a prosperous country. It was the millionaire of America. They called it the Saudi Venezuela, just imagine. And all of this was destroyed by Chavismo. They are the ones responsible for Venezuela being in the situation it's in. That's why so many Venezuelans went out to celebrate the end of this regime, the end of this tyranny. And yes, I know that a lot of people might have doubts right now. I know that a lot of people might be asking themselves, what's going to happen? Because Delcy Rodríguez is still there. But I'm telling you, she's just leading a transition to democracy. That's what they're telling us here. According to Reuters, the United States is preparing possible offers of amnesty or exile for the remaining leaders in Venezuela, as an option to carry out the transition peacefully. Otherwise, if they choose to go the hard way, a second wave of attacks is likely. It's very simple. Either you cooperate or you already know what will happen. So, I think, objectively speaking, that the Chavistas have no other option. They have no alternative. But please, let's watch this video, which is outrageous. Pay attention.
And I can't end tonight without showing you that the Council of Criminals, pay attention to this, watch this video step by step. Look at their faces. Look at their faces. They say, they're recording you, and look, they're recording you, they're recording you. Where? Oh, smile. His face changed instantly, but now look at Diosdado. He doesn't even look at Delcy. He doesn't look at her. You can see the hatred on his face. Look at all their faces, all of them. They must all be wearing 2 or 3 diapers right now. Look at their faces. Look at them. Look at their faces. Look at the faces of these old ladies who haven't even slept. Look, they're wiping away their tears and snot because they were crying. But they told her she's being recorded. Look, don't cry, and everyone, look. Look at their faces, like the dead. They all have the faces of the dead. They all share the same face of the dead. Look at Padrino, he doesn't even look at her. Look, she's talking and Diosdado doesn't even look at her. Observe their faces. They all know they're in trouble, all of them. Look at the faces of the dead, even this one. Look at him. Look at their faces. Look there, they try. We're recording you, smile, we're recording, don't look at the camera. They told them all this right in the middle of the show. Look at the worried faces they have. This is beautiful. Enjoy it. Enjoy every second of what you're seeing in this video. Look at them. Just look at their faces. Look at them. Observe them. Here are the faces of all these criminals. They're all thinking about when their time will come, their day. And here's the main one, right? But the details are important. But look at this one. He doesn't even look at her. He doesn't even acknowledge Delcy. He doesn't acknowledge her. He's full of hatred against this woman who betrayed them, but Delcy has sided with Trump. Look at their faces. None of them know who the enemy is or who they'll target next. Damn, look, this one was crying. She doesn't know what to do, and no. She wipes her tears discreetly. Look, everyone was there before they turned on the cameras. Everyone was there looking devastated, and then they turned on the cameras. Look, he doesn't even look at her. He doesn't even look at the criminal Delcy. This is getting really good. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy it.
Just think about it for a moment. It's wild. because someone in that room is the traitor. Many suspect it could be Delcy Rodríguez, and yes, it makes perfect sense. However, it could be anyone. I suspect Alex Saab is the frontman for Nicolas Maduro. For those unaware, this man was arrested by the United States, released, and sent back in an exchange with Nicolas Maduro, ultimately handing Alex Saab over to him. And at the time, it was said that this was a victory for Nicolas Maduro, and that Joe Biden and the United States government had been made to look ridiculous. But I think, what if it really wasn't like that? What if they actually handed him over so this guy could become a CIA informant? It could be, huh? But be careful, this is just a theory, and it's impossible to know who the traitor is within the Chavista leadership. Very, very difficult. In fact, let's listen to Nicolasito, the son of Nicolas Maduro, speak. You can tell they have no idea who the traitor was.
Yeah, we're fine. We're calm. You'll see us in the streets. You'll see us next to the people. You'll see us raising the flags of dignity. And they want to see us weak, but they won't see us weak. They won't do it. Does it hurt us? Of course it does. Does it make us angry? Of course it does. But they won't be able to beat us. Damn it. I swear on my life, I swear on my father, I swear on Celia that we're going to get through this. And my name is... A lot of people today, Nahum, a lot of spiritual people, a lot of evangelical people, but a lot of people with strong faith. All of them without prior agreement, knowledge, or even getting along. They all told me, we're going to get through this, we're going to get through this, and President Nicolas Maduro will come back, he will come back, and well, today was a day of shock, of course. We were all in shock. Damn, it was a blow, as they say. We've had great victories, but today we underestimated. Tomorrow is January 4th, and we're hitting the streets on the 5th. We're going to call our people. We're going to unite, to gather around our cause, taking political and military action with maximum unity. They want to sow discord, they won't succeed. They want to sow doubt, they won't succeed. They can't succeed, they can't manage to sow doubt. Later on, we'll see. History will tell who the traitors were. History will reveal it. We'll see. We need to focus on moving our country forward, on raising the banners of Chavez, and bringing Nicolas Maduro Moro and Silvia Flores back safe and sound. Here I am, brothers and sisters of this party, of these movements. Let's move forward. I am firm. My family is firm, strong, and we are moving forward. So, forgive me. If I got a little emotional, I wanted to speak to you from the heart. America, Ernesto, Ricardo Molina, and others wrote to me. I'm keeping an eye on things. I've spoken to half the world today and still need to reach the other half, but we're doing well. God bless. A hug. We will overcome. Well, look, we have here...
This guy believes Nicolas Maduro will return, and Donald Trump will agree to give Maduro back if Venezuela is handed over peacefully. No, that's not going to happen. Maduro already lost that opportunity when he decided not to leave. He lost that chance. Nicolas Maduro will never get out of prison, ever. In fact, the rules of the game have changed. Chavismo has been made a laughingstock and is now completely exposed and weakened. This is no longer about freeing Nicolas Maduro. This is about, if you don't accept the deal with the United States, the next one or the next ones will be you. It will be the rest of the Chavistas. Donald Trump already said it. If you don't do it, your fate will be even worse than Nicolas Maduro's. So, Chavistas, if you had even minimal intelligence, which you've already shown you lack, you're going to have to give in, period. Even Diosdado Cabello will have to swallow his pride and give in, because, guys, Diosdado Cabello, no matter how much of a criminal he is, he has family, he has loved ones, and the guy has no option to fight or go up against the United States. He just doesn't. Therefore, this is very simple. Either you leave the country the easy way or you leave the hard way. Period. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and see you next time.